Hello, and welcome back to Jenna Gets Creative. It is still pretty close to the beginning of the month. January is going faster than I thought it would, but it's time to do the Colors of the Month challenge. This year, Marker Universe has returned to doing just 3 colors. These are the 3 colors that they have offered us this month, and I am going to do a piece. You're going to see a bit of a split screen happening for most of this video, because while I am demonstrating the piece that I choose to do with these colors, I would like to talk about the challenges of color matching in alcohol ink, either to something like this where you've been given swatches, maybe with a hex code, and to, other brands. What I did to come up with these matches was I looked at the hex codes for these, and I looked at an online hex code chart of Copic's existing colors. The pink here was theoretically supposed to be closest to natural lipstick. This is far too dark, far too brown, even for the color swatch here, but as you can see, this next closest match is quite light, quite very pink. Supposedly hydrangea blue was the closest match over here on this side, but as you can see, the swatch I ended up making over here looks closer to this, and then over here this swatch looks like a very desaturated light teal on the blue end, and the hex code was the closest match to light grayish cobalt out of the markers that I have, not out of all Copic markers. So you can see the flaw in my method. It doesn't precisely work, but we can get around that. Let's pick the colors I'm actually going to use, and then I'm going to talk a little bit more about matching between the different alcohol marker brands. There are some tips and tricks, but a lot of it is just guesswork, so let's get into it. If you're not familiar with the Colors of the Month challenge, this is a limited palette color challenge issued by Marker Universe on the first of every month. You have the whole month to do it. You can do it once, you can do it multiple times, whatever. What you do is you take 1, 2, or all 3 of the colors they have specified, plus black and or white if you want to. You can mix, you can blend, you just can't add other colors. Do it in whatever medium you want, traditional or digital, doesn't really matter. Make art using this color palette, post it online, use the hashtag Colors of the Month. Maybe if they like it, they'll share it on their social media pages. That happened with my December piece. It's just a lot of fun. I like doing this challenge every single month. Last year, I was trying to do this as much as possible with my Caron Brush Marker Pro watercolor markers. I'm not going to be doing that as much this year for 2 reasons. First of all, I really want to get a full set of the Tombow dual art brush pens, and when I do, I will probably switch to doing this challenge with those. But also, Marker Universe has really switched over to pushing the deco brush, the pigment brush pens, and the acrylic brush pens from Caron. So it's harder to match because the names don't match and the color tones don't match. Silly investment for a silly challenge that just doesn't work anymore. This month's colors, they do seem to have done away with giving the colors names. They're just giving you the swatches and the hex codes. They are suggesting some products in their shop. Some of them are better matches than others if you ask me. They have noted that if you are doing portraits or other sort of human pieces, you can also do skin colors outside of the palette. That is also fair. So the colors this month, there is hex code B8C7E5, and this is a very light blue that has a bit of a grayish quality to it. There is hex code EDA29C, and that is a very nice soft peachy pink. And there is hex code 759FAB, and that is a very desaturated mid-tone teal, kind of sort of hanging out more on the blue end, but I don't know, it's a tough call. So as you can see, this is a bit harder of a task matching colors like this. Let's play around with some of these colors and finalize decisions. First of all, I just think that this color is more in the running over here, and I don't think that this hydrangea blue is going to fit. Some other options over here, though, we do have Ohuhu light blue and cloud blue from Winsor Newton. I don't normally like mixing Winsor Newton with Copics because this does what the Spectrum Noir markers does, and it's a bit more of a alcohol heavy color, and it does create the white spots when you blend, but it might be the truer match. For the pinks, I have a lot of options. There is Spectra AD Peach, Ohuhu Light Prawn, Ohuhu Pastel Rose, deceptively named, it is not in the pastel set. I also pulled out Ohuhu RV260 Pink, but I don't really think this one's going to work. It is more of a match for the Copic I pulled out. We also have Sketch Marker Brush Marker 2.0 Signature in Blush. Out of these ones, probably leaning towards that second one there, the Ohuhu Light Prawn. Now, of course, the hardest color here, this very desaturated teal. It comes down to, do we go to blue, do we go to green, or do we go to dark? Going to blue would be something like Cadet Blue from Winsor Newton. Going to green would be something like Copic's Aqua. And going to dark would be something like Ohuhu's Turquoise Ink Blue. So what colors am I going to use? I think it would be nice to stick to a brand, so I am going to go for one of these two closely matching colors. I'm picking the Ohuhu B250 Light Blue. I am picking Ohuhu R120 Light Prawn, and I am picking Ohuhu G5 Turquoise Ink Blue. Let's talk about how to figure out how to match between brands. Some brands are going to use the same color names, and sometimes that will match, sometimes it won't. Some brands are actually using the same ink system, and therefore you'll be able to match the number and color name. First of all, let's talk about matching Copic with Ohuhu. Those are my two favorite brands to work with, and they do have some very similar names in some of the colors. Some of them are matches, some of them aren't. Copic E04 is Lipstick Natural. Ohuhu E050 is also Lipstick Natural. Do they match? It's very close. The Ohuhu is a bit more of a brown toned color. One of my absolute favorite Copic colors, Y21 Buttercup Yellow versus Ohuhu's Y120 Buttercup Yellow. This is, again, a very close match. The Ohuhu is just a tad darker. If you didn't have anything to compare to, you probably would call these the same color. I think it's a very good match. Copic E93 Tea Rose. Ohuhu E470, also Tea Rose. Those ones are pretty much an exact match. Now here's where it starts to get interesting. This is Copic Y00 Barium Yellow. It's a cool yellow, it's very, very pale. Ohuhu does have a marker called Barium Yellow, it's Y3. And as you can see, that is a much darker color. With that said, in the pastels pack, you get Y030 Lemon Chiffon. And that is almost an exact match to Copic's Barium Yellow. So sometimes, even though the Ohuhu and Copic have the same color name, they are not a match, but you may find a match in a different color. It's a bit of a trial and error. Copic RV21 is light pink. Ohuhu RV280 is also called light pink. Do they match? Copic's light pink is lighter. Copic B00 Frost Blue. Ohuhu B030 Frost Blue. I'm happy with that match. My favorite color that I keep running out of because the refill is never in stock, Copic B02 Robin's Egg Blue. From the pastels pack, Ohuhu B050 Robin's Egg Blue. And that one is a perfect match. I was so happy to find that this is a perfect match because, like I said, it's one of my absolute favorite Copic colors and I can never get a refill for it. E31 Brick Beige and Ohuhu E210 Brick Beige. Almost the same. I would say that Ohuhu's version is more on the cool tone side, a little more yellow. Does Ohuhu's E220 Sand match anything that's called anything like sand? Here is Winsor Newton's Sandstone. Similar. Ohuhu's Sandstone for comparison. So Ohuhu's Sandstone doesn't match, Ohuhu's Sand is close. Touch New Sand. Close. Not exact. Hard sell, sometimes there isn't a match. How does Ohuhu's Pale Lilac compare to Copic's Lilac and Pale Lilac? Here is Ohuhu's Pale Lilac. Here's Copic's Lilac. And Copic's Pale Lilac. As you can see, it is definitely closer to the Pale Lilac, but Ohuhu's is more of a pink color, has a little more saturation. Ohuhu's Lavender Mist reminds me of Copic's Hydrangea Blue. It also reminds me of Spectra 80's Light Periwinkle. As you can see, they're all the same kind of family of color, but they're not all at the same value. So as you can see, sometimes just going with the color name is going to work, such as up here with Lipstick Natural. Sometimes it's not going to work, like over here with the Barium Yellow. Sometimes you can find markers that are using the same ink systems. Here's at least 5 different brands of markers, only 2 different ink systems being used. Over here, I believe it's Shinhan Touch is the original brand. These are all using those colors. We have some Touch New, we have some Touch 5, and we have this other brand here, Double Line. This is by Jenna. Here we have a Touch New and a Touch 5. They both say 73 Ultramarine. And as you can see, that is indeed the same very rich, deep purple. Let's comment that Ultramarine is not supposed to be a purple. Touch New and Jenna Double Line, both 91 Natural Oak. Same color, Touch New and Double Line, YR101 Yellow Ochre. Note that the Touch New marker over here on the left does not include the YR designation, but the numbers are the same and the name is the same. Let's see if they are indeed the same. Interesting. Those ones aren't. Alright, so where they were just the number, they are the same. Where they specify the pigment letters, they are not. I also have Touch New and Touch 5, both using 94 Brick Brown. Those ones do not appear to be the same color. These, the Touch New and the Touch 5, are both rip-offs of the Shinhan Touch, so it's not surprising that not everything is an exact match. They have clearly tried to pretend that they are using the Shinhan Touch system, but they're probably not. They have probably used rip-off inks. These Double Line Jenna markers, these were a bit more expensive. They actually have a brush nib in them. They are more pleasant to work with. These probably have the actual Shinhan Touch colors in them. Another interesting comparison, I have had these Bianyo brush markers for a very long time. This was in a skin tone set that has a lot of colors I would never use in its skin tones. This is the Parku brush marker that was sent to me to review back in the fall, and they appear to be using the same color system, the same inks. These are both Y934 Brun. Here's the Parku, here's the Bianyo. And those are the same color. These are the only ones I have that are the exact same number and name in both markers. So it's a small sample size, but it does look like they are a match. So to summarize what we've gone over here, some brands like Ohuhu and Copic will have exactly the same color names in use, and it's hit or miss whether or not that is going to be the same color. If it's a darker color, you're more likely to find that they are a match. If they are more of an extremely pastel shade, particularly when the Copic color number is getting into the double and triple zeros, not necessarily going to match exactly, although the blues are very consistent. When you find markers of different brands that have the same color numbering and name system, there's a pretty good chance that they're the same, particularly in the more expensive brands, in the brands that come with brush nibs, such as the Parku brush marker and the Bianyo brush marker. Those are definitely the same ink, but sometimes you'll find really cheap rip-offs like the Touch New and Touch 5. They're trying to look like the Shinhan Touch system, but they don't even match to each other consistently. Those are the first alcohol markers I got when I was just thinking of trying alcohol markers. They were extremely cheap on places like Wish and AliExpress. Overall, I do regret buying them. Mostly they've just sat in the cupboard and slowly individually dried out, even though I wasn't using them. The collection has definitely dwindled from what I bought, but I do get to bring them out for demonstrations like this, and I do get to do experiments on them, like my very popular old 2018 video putting Copic marker nibs in cheap markers and turning them into Copics, essentially. Asterisk. Beyond this, some tips for color matching, particularly if you already have a brand and you're trying to look for the same color in a different brand, or if you're just really interested in one particular brand and you want to do some research online. It is always possible to go and find pictures and videos of other people who have already compared 2 different marker lines. Just look at their visuals, see which ones actually did match or didn't match. You can also swatch the markers you have and take them with you in person to an art store to compare to the markers that are at the art store before you purchase. I do want to mention for American shoppers and shoppers who don't mind paying shipping import prices from the USA, the Blick Studio markers from Dick Blick, the brush markers that they offer, they are the same number system, the same color name, the exact same variety of colors, and the same barrel shape as the Spectra AD brush markers. So I have always suspected that they are exactly the same. I haven't been able to test that yet. I haven't been able to get my hands on a Blick Studio marker or ink refill. If somebody else could do that, that would be great. Let me know, because I've been recommending this whole time, if you love your Spectra AD markers, you should probably try refilling them with an ink refill, a re-inker from Blick Studio, because they are offering the re-inkers and Spectra AD is not. Friday's video is going to be the start of a brand new series for this channel. Next week's Friday, we will have an Art Addict Slides video. We're doing a really fun challenge this month. I'm really looking forward to it. Not sure yet what Tuesday or Wednesday's video next week will be. I am still waiting on both a Scrawler Box and an Art Snacks. Hopefully at least one of them will be here over the weekend so I can do them for you. Please do let me know in the comments down below what sort of stuff are you looking for me to produce this year. I want to focus a little more on doing product reviews and product education so that my channel appeals to a wider audience, not just the entertainment factor but also the informative factor. But I want to do them kind of like this, where there is still just a speed paint going on one side of the screen at least, so that you know, it's interesting to watch if you are only here for the entertainment. Let me know if this format works for you, my loyal viewers who are here all the time, or if you're here for the first time because the stuff I talked about educationally is what you're looking for. Was this a good video? Please give me some feedback. If you're looking for more to watch, I've got some suggestions up on the left side of the screen now. Don't forget to like, comment, maybe even subscribe, and if you like living life creatively, whatever that means to you, I'd love to have you along for the ride. Bye guys!